Have you ever watched birds while they eat? Maybe you've seen fish swim in a pond. Or perhaps you've enjoyed watching bees buzz in and out of flowers. These are all examples of living creatures interacting with the things around them. How do living things interact? What are some of the things they interact with? And why do living things need to interact with each other and the things around them? During the next few minutes, we're going to answer these questions and others as we investigate the interaction of living things. When you take a walk in the forest, through a park, or along a beach, you see many living things, such as plants and animals. There are also many important non-living things that you may not notice. You observe. What non-living things do you see here? Rocks and water are some of the obvious non-living things in this scene. The air is less noticeable, but it's a very important non-living thing. Light from the sun is another non-living thing, as is wind, rain, and snow. Non-living things are all around us. They're very important because living things, including people, need them to survive. You're familiar with many different living things, like people, or pets, such as cats, dogs, and fish. You observe. What are the living things in this meadow? Elk, trees, and grasses are a few of the most noticeable living things. It's important to realize that living things need non-living things to survive. For example, elk breathe air, which is non-living. They also drink water, another non-living thing. Plants also need non-living things, such as air, sunlight, and soil to grow. So, as you can see, living things cannot survive without many different non-living things. This beautiful place is Yellowstone National Park. The park contains many different kinds of living things, such as deer, bison, bears, and lots of plants. It also has many non-living things, such as air, water, rocks, soil, rain, snow, and wind. Together, the living and non-living things make up an ecosystem. Some ecosystems are on land, while others are in bodies of water or in wetlands. You decide. What type of ecosystem is this? This is a desert ecosystem. As you can imagine, there are many different types of ecosystems. These otters need many things to survive, including food, water, and shelter. They get the things they need to survive in this pond. The pond is their home and it's also called their habitat. Habitat is a word used to describe the home of a living thing. The pond ecosystem is also the habitat for other living things, such as fish and plants. As we discussed, the living things in an ecosystem need the non-living things, such as water, air, rocks, and the correct temperature, to survive. They also need other living things to survive. The living things in a place interact with and are connected to each other in many ways. During the past few minutes, we explored the interaction of living things. We began by taking a look at non-living things, such as air, water, wind, and rain. We then discussed how living things need other non-living things to survive. Ecosystems were then described. Last, we briefly took a look at how living things interact with living and non-living things in an ecosystem. This rounded out our fascinating exploration of the interaction of living things. Fill in the correct word to complete the sentence. Number 1. Water is a thing. Number 2. Living things need non-living things to. Number 3. The is the living thing in this picture. Number 4. And is all the living and non-living things in a place. And number 5. A is the home of a living thing.